How's it going, guys? Yooper Bastard here with you. Today we're going to be talking about some tungsten weights. There's a lot of people out there, believers, non-believers, some people on the fence. We're going to kind of cover some topics to help you make the decision of should I be throwing lead or should I be throwing the tungsten. Right off the bat, size. Size alone is a big player in why you should be throwing tungsten. Bases or a standard tungsten weight versus the size of a lead weight, generally they're about 60% smaller in size. With that alone, with that smaller surface area of your weight, you're looking at when you're flipping cover and different things like that, that entry, that smaller weight entering the water is going to be a whole lot less commotion if you're out there fishing some skinny water or anything like that. Another reason just on size alone is for casting. That smaller diameter, that smaller size weight, you can cast a whole heck of a lot more accurate. Just with that smaller size, if it's windy or anything like that, if you're casting out in that wind, the bigger weight is just going to catch more wind. So size alone is a big player. Next, you've got density. The density versus the lead is the tungsten itself is a lot more dense than lead, and what you get out of that is with that denser, the density of that tungsten when it's down there and you're pulling a Carolina rig or you're just flipping in a little bit of rocks or in the weeds or wherever you're flipping, that denser tungsten is going to make a distinct sound. If it hits a little bit of rock or shell bed or anything like that, that little bit of sound can attract fish to where your bait is. Now with lead, on the other hand, it's a lot softer. As it hits those rocks and different things like that, you're not going to get that same tink, tink, tink type different sound underneath water, where it's just not going to play that role underwater to bring in a fish just by sound and contact like that. Now with the same thing with that density, with that denser tungsten, as it's hitting rocks and different things like that, it translates that field up through your line, so you can tell what you're in on bottom. You can tell when you're moving through them rocks or you're catching a little branch or anything. The feel for the bottom with tungsten is far, far better than lead. Now I'm not saying you don't feel bottom with lead or anything like that, but if you're throwing tungsten, believe me, you will know the difference when you're on the bottom. Alright, that's a few reasons why you should be throwing tungsten. Now, why should you be throwing Swagger tungsten? First reason is for those of you who like throwing painted weights, the Swagger actually has a patent on the way their powder paint is applied. This makes their paint much, much more durable when you're pulling it through them rocks and that different cover and through the brush piles or wherever you're throwing it. This paint sticks. And it sticks good. It's by far one of the best for keeping that paint and not chipping and getting beat up. By far one of the best I've ever fished with. You will not be disappointed. Now another issue is with weights like this is line abrasion. If just the edges not being smoothed out and it cuts up your line. Actually now, Swagger takes the time, they machine polish every single weight. That alone has made their weights about 4 times less abrasive than the competitors. So already, better paint, better cut resistant, they're not going to tear up your lines, and last, the dollar bill. One of the biggest problems with tungsten is the price. Swagger's tungsten is easily 50% less in cost compared to your big brand stores. Another huge advantage of throwing Swagger tungsten is their drop shot weights. There's not another company that I know of, now you can correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong, but there's not a company that I know of that stamps each individual drop shot weight. So if you're out there fishing, your weights get all mixed up. And tungsten has a very small, when you're playing with weights that small, it's hard to determine which one's exactly which. They're going to be pretty darn close in size. So each and every one of them weights is stamped. That makes it quick and easy for you to resort your stuff. When you're out there fishing and something gets mixed up, you know you're still on the same weight and you're still throwing the same thing you should be or want to be. And their other nice thing they have for their drop shot weights is they actually have a casting version. Most drop shot weights just have the teardrop or the little pin style. You just clip your or put your line through and just cinch it down on there. And that makes it good for if it gets hung up in cover and stuff, you can just pull the line without breaking your line and losing your whole setup. It'll just pull the weight off the bottom of the line. They also have a casting version that's just a round loop and you actually tie right there to the weight, and that allows you to cast that weight out there as a drop shot weight. And that makes it even more versatile than just your standard drop shot. And for me, what I like for that line tie like that is actually doing more like you hear of power shotting, or there's many different names for it. Just instead of your standard lightweight setup, going to 20, 30 pound fluoro and actually flipping around with that drop shot. That's another reason that I like throwing it tied up like that. You can just be flipping around with that and get more accurate casts and don't have to worry about losing your weight all the time because you got that baby tied right on and you can do whatever you want with it that way. Other than that, that's the reasons why you should be throwing tungsten, and there's even more reason why you should be throwing Swagger tungsten.